It's not always the big moments that break you after loss. Sometimes it's the smallest ones you never saw coming. It might be a song, a smell, a random memory. You're going about your day and suddenly you're not okay. So, what do? When grief shows up in the most unordinary moments? Before we go any further, if you've ever been caught off guard by a moment that triggered your grief, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe because someone else is trying to understand why something so small can feel so overwhelming. Welcome to Sit With It. I'm Dr. Dandridge. This is a space where we don't rush healing. We sit with it. And today we're talking about something that many people experience after loss: emotional triggers in the smallest moments. Because grief doesn't always show up when you expect it. It doesn't always wait for anniversaries, holidays, big life events. Sometimes it shows up in the middle of an ordinary day, and that can feel so confusing. I remember someone saying inside of my hospice interactions as a chaplain, I was fine until I wasn't. They were in the grocery store, walked past something familiar, and suddenly they were overwhelmed. Not because anything new happened, but because something reminded them: a memory, a connection, a moment they didn't plan for. And just like that, grief showed up. And maybe you've experienced that, where everything feels normal until something small shifts everything. Today, I want to walk through three things you can take with you as you navigate emotional triggers in your grief journey. The first thing is that triggers are a reflection of connection, not weakness. I want to start here today. Emotional triggers are not a sign that you're not healing. They're a sign that something mattered. Those small moments are often tied to shared experiences, familiar routines, emotional memories. So when something reminds you, your mind and body respond, not because you're fragile, but because you're connected. I want you to think about this question as you're going throughout your grief journey. What are some small moments that have unexpectedly triggered your grief? As a matter of fact, take a moment, write them down, even put them inside of the comments section right now. The second point I want to bring to your attention is that you can't always avoid triggers, but you can learn to navigate them. Here's the reality: you won't always be able to predict or even prevent these moments. They will happen. But what you can do is prepare how you plan to respond. When triggers happen, I encourage you to pause, to breathe, acknowledge what you're feeling. Instead of fighting it, instead of ignoring it or rushing past it, because the goal is not to eliminate the triggers, it's to move through them with awareness. Another question I want you to think about as you're going throughout your grief journey is: how do you typically respond when a trigger catches you off guard? Just think about that for a moment. The third point I want to bring to your attention is that these moments can become opportunities for healing. This may shift your perspective because a trigger is not just an interruption, it can also be an invitation to remember, an invitation to reflect, an invitation to feel, an invitation to process. Instead of seeing it as something negative, you can begin to ask the question: what is this moment bringing up for me? This is where your work, this is where your journey, this is where your process of sitting with it becomes so powerful. Because when you begin to process these emotional connections intentionally, you give those moments meaning. You're not just reacting to grief, no, you're actually engaging with it. So, the final question I want you to take with you inside of your grief journey is this: what might your triggers be trying to reveal or remind you of? Let me ask you this, and if you're uncomfortable, share it. If you're comfortable, share it as well. But let me ask you, what is one small thing that unexpectedly reminds you of something that you've lost. Let's have a reflective moment. I want y'all to take a moment wherever you are and let's just breathe in, breathe out. Think about a recent moment that caught you off guard. And instead of pushing it away, just sit with it. Not the pain alone that you experienced, but the connection that you also felt behind that trigger. Because that moment, that sitting with it, that's what makes it meaningful. Family, the smallest moments can feel overwhelming, but they are also reminders of love, reminders of connection, reminders of something that mattered deeply. And while, yes, they may catch you off guard, they don't have to control you. You can learn to move through them one moment at a time. If this conversation helped you, go ahead, like, share this with somebody, subscribe, because someone else is navigating these same unexpected moments and they need to hear this. And if you're ready to go deeper inside of your healing journey, I encourage you to check out my books, Designing Your Goodbye and Sit With It. Both are available on Amazon. These resources are here to help you process grief in a real, everyday way, everyday moments with intention, clarity, and spiritual grounding. I want to close with this. Healing doesn't happen when you rush it. It actually happens when you sit with it. Thank you all for joining me. I'm Dr. Dandridge, encouraging you to just keep moving forward